Death. The final breath. The silent room. The stone rolled across a tomb. Humanity has always whispered the same fearful question. Is this the end? But Scripture answers with thunder. Long before Bethlehem, before Calvary, before the empty tomb, God was already interrupting funerals. In a small upper room in Zarephath, a mother clutches her lifeless child. The prophet Elijah stretches himself over the boy and cries out, "O Lord my God, I pray thee, let this child's soul come into him again." And the Scripture says, "And the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came into him again, and he revived." Life returns. Tears turn to trembling awe. Israel's God was not only Lord of rain and fire, he was Lord over death.
Years later,
Another room, another child, another grieving mother. The prophet Elisha enters. Silence fills the chamber. He prays. He stretches himself upon the child. And then, the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes.
even after Elisha's death,
The power of God lingers. A lifeless body touches the prophet's bones. He revived and stood up on his feet. Before Christ ever walked the earth, heaven had already declared, "The grave does not control the author of life." Then came the fullness of time. Jesus Christ steps into our dust, into our funerals, into our tears.
a widow in Nain walks
Behind a coffin, her only son gone. Jesus stops the procession. "Young man, I say unto thee, arise." And the dead man sits up. In a crowded house, mourners laugh in disbelief as Jesus takes the hand of a little girl and whispers, "Talitha cum," little girl, arise. Her eyes open. Death retreats. Then comes the sealed tomb of Lazarus of Bethany. 4 days buried, the stone heavy, the air thick with grief. Jesus weeps, and then, with a voice that shakes eternity, "Lazarus, come forth."
a heartbeat.
Movement, grave clothes rustle, and Jesus declares, "I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live." These were not mere miracles. They were signs. Signs that death is a servant, not a master. Signs pointing toward a greater dawn.
But the story does not end.
At Lazarus. After Christ rises, never to die again, the power of his name echoes through his followers.
In an upper room in Joppa,
Widows weep over Tabitha. Peter kneels and prays. Then he says, "Tabitha, arise." She opens her eyes.
in Troas,
A young man named Eutychus falls from a 3rd-story window. Silence, shock, panic. Paul embraces him and declares, "Trouble not yourselves, for his life is in him." The church rejoices.
every person raised in these stories,
Eventually faced death again. Except one. Jesus did not return to mortal life. He conquered death itself. "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?"
the earlier resurrections
Were previews. His resurrection was the victory. For believers today, these stories are not distant history. They are a declaration. The God who revived a widow's son, who awakened a little girl, who called Lazarus from decay, is the same God who speaks life into dead faith, dead hope, dead dreams. Because the final word does not belong to the grave, it belongs to the one who said, "Behold, I am alive forevermore, and have the keys of hell and of death." Most people believe only Jesus raised the dead, but the Bible tells a bigger story. From prophets To Christ, to apostles, death has never had the final word. And it still doesn't.